Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Great Wizard Bukake, your host. Our heroes are battling the Horde. Moss destroyed Archibald's protective goo. Quinny was struck by the Black Spider and is almost dying. Butthole banished the Black Spider, and Reginald is hunting down his father. Can they keep the spider in his own realm, end Archibald, and save Quinny? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
Archibald Tingler thought he wanted nothing more than to murder his treacherous, cowardly son who ran away from the glory of the Horde into some kind of weak world that he's having to hang around in. But then a golden opportunity presented itself. A golden opportunity that everyone, every little goblin, all the way up to every murder boss in the Horde dreams of. The chance to kill the leader of the Horde and become the leader of the Horde. And he is sure that with the venom on his blade, he's probably done it. But doing that doesn't matter if you get killed on the way out of Weird Soft World. So Archibald Tingler is running like fuck. Over his shoulder, looks back, and he has Horde people like pulling him through, because they're more loyal to him than the Black Spider, because the Black Spider, like, he stabbed the Black Spider disappeared. They're like, oh fuck, he's the guy now. Mm-hmm. They're pulling him through, and he's very much laughing like somebody just got away with, like, break, like a smash and grab, and it's clearly like, ha ha, they didn't get me though. And behind him is just the barreling monster of Reginald tearing his way through the crowd, followed by everyone else. Butthole, I assume on your turn you would have raised Quinny?
Oh, 110% yes.
Yes. So I'm going to give you kind of a free round of initiative because I'm going to make some rolls happen here because Butthole is working on a concentration spell to keep the Black Spider out of your realm. So we're going to have to see basically how well you can protect Butthole on the way through here. Cool. But Quinny, in your head, before this happens, you do have kind of a final moment with Gary, just before whatever fucking thing Ryan's going to describe happens. Mm-hmm. And Gary just smiles, and he smiles in that kind of like crooked Aarakocra way that you recognize, and he just says, I always thought you would do great things, Quinny Brownbow.
That means a lot coming from you. You taught me a lot.
Well, truth be told, I never felt great about leaving you guys behind in the death prison, so,
I didn't feel great about that either.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'll let that be.
I believed in this place, if you can believe, and he kind of like raises a wing to the void, but he clearly means a ka. And he's like, in a world of such chaos and disorder, the idea that we could maybe bring a little bit of stability would have been nice,
Yeah, that would be nice. Sometimes I have a hard time seeing how stability is going to come from this, but we're working on it.
Yes, that is what I learned too. Listen, it smells like you are going to be leaving me soon, so
God.
Just know that I truly treasure the friendship we had.
Me too.
Okay, well, enjoy being alive. There is a...
I'll try.
White light, I think I'm supposed to... Oh, and he starts getting like pulled back. And it just waves with a wing. And with that, Gary kind of disappears as Butthole, you do what to revive Quinny?
Great. So Quinny, you're there, and you feel a like big like thud around you as you're getting drawn back, but it sounds like... And then you just feel this pulling sensation, and you start to lean forward, and you realize with horror that you are about to get sucked into your own ass as a ghost. So you just feel yourself fart, and then your butt just goes like, and your face just gets sucked into your own butt, and you end up back in your own body. And what you're seeing over you is Butthole, and he's doing CPR, but not on your chest. He's doing it on your stomach, and you're actually farting, and your own farts are magically going up into your mouth. And he's like, I thought you'd like this better. It's you. Everyone likes their own brand. And he's just squeezing farts out of the bottom half of you rhythmically with your heartbeat until you're back.
As soon as I am able, I am just squirming and scrambling. He's like, stop! God!
He's back.
And with that, you take off after Archibald. Quinny, you awake to the battlefield. The Black Spider is gone. Archibald is gone. Moss, I assume you kind of like grab him and help him get up.
Oh, yeah.
Butthole, I assume, would you tell them that you need the concentration? Like, basically, you have one of those battlefield moments where it's like the area around you is clear. Vital statistics is like keeping people at bay. You've got like Pitch actually just like fucking going to work.
Nice.
He's like it's a lot of like, like smoke bomb type stuff, but he's just like causing general chaos around you. And he's like, wow, we're better at this than we thought. And just like throwing sand and smoke and just causing like havoc. And then just through the smoke, Vital statistics still pooping himself, just swinging that fucking maul around, knocking people aside. You see Patty Two Eyes just like running through. And she's like, look out for my bombs! And she's just throwing glass bottles full of piss at people.
Patty piss bottles, as shall be known after this glorious day of a car.
And wouldn't you know it, some magic missiles just start exploding, and there's like, the battle wizard just be like, oh boy, here we go.
Balthazar Durian.
That's the man. Yep, the man himself.
The war wizard.
And the clerics are healing people up. Those lumberjacks we never met, they're just fucking going to town. It turns out they're really cool dudes. You would have loved them. They have such funny voices. They're just hacking away, saying nothing. But no, you're generally, your troops are doing well to keep.
Great. Quinny, you will have 21 HP from Butthole's spell.
Thank you very much.
He cast Cure Wounds at level 2 is what he did. Keeping track of my spell slots to keep things earnest.
And that was 21 points?
21, yeah.
Thank you.
21 points of health. And he will say to both of you, all right, so I banished the Black Spider. If I get hit really hard, he's probably going to come back and we'll have to kill him. So make sure I don't get hit, but also we have to go help Reginald, who's chasing down Archibald. Let's move, fam.
Okay.
And he's just going to take off
Hang on. And Moss just reaches into her little satchel, little sack of adamantine dust and just like inhales a bunch and then just like, Butthole, come here.
Okay.
And then just like blows it out like into his face. Like, breathe in.
Oh, not like that, Butthole.
And Butthole's skin shimmers for a moment and you have stone skin cast on you.
So what does that mean?
For up to an hour, it's a concentration spell for me, you have resistance to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah.
Great.
All righty.
So, in order to fight your way through the crowd, Reginald's doing the hard work by just bulldozing. But we're going to have to survive 3 rounds of attacks to see if Butthole can make it through. So, Quinny and Moss, I want to know what you're doing to try and keep people off of Butthole as you kind of like escort him through the crowd. It's an escort mission, I'm sorry.
Say, realistically, Goblin Jr. too, but he's just hanging out.
Snarf.
Quinny would be staying in front of Butthole, but close, firing off Eldritch Blasts. He gets 2 with each cast.
Yeah.
And he just wants to fork them, one to the left, one to the right, to just push people away.
Okay, I like that. Moss?
Yeah, and so you're in front? Quinny's in front?
Of Butthole, yeah.
So Moss will basically be like, kind of like keeping very, very close to Butthole and just swinging the hammer around like behind her to make sure that no one's getting close.
Distance.
Yeah. And she'll stay within 10 feet so that Butthole has the charisma modifier advantage as well.
Okay, love that. Butthole, is there anything you're doing?
Butthole is keeping that shield up on one side and the hammer up on the other. Like, he's not trying to take anybody out, but if they get close, it's just fucking like edge of shield, like smack him back, or the hammer. With Quinny in front of him, he's really just focusing on left and right. So yeah, they're just like this weird fortress of stuff. On the hammer side, that'll be the side Goblin Jr. is running on because he can protect himself more with the shield on one, whereas between the hammer and the wolf, he's a little more protected on the other.
Okay, awesome. So, Quinny, go ahead and roll your Eldritch Blasts, please. Moss, I'm going to get you to roll 2 attacks.
Okay.
And then, Ryan, I'm going to roll against your... Depending on how these rolls go, I'll see if there's anything that gets through to you.
Okay.
21 and 16, respectively.
Yeah, that'll do. All right, so you're just blasting people back.
26 and 30.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Still got that potion, baby.
Yeah, it's just
Amazing.
like knocking and like I think it's like up front, like Queen's like throwing the Eldritch Blast and they hit someone, they get knocked back like 10 feet or whatever in either way. And then just looking over your shoulder, you just see people fucking arcing through the sky as like Moss just like knocks them aside in wild swings, just sending people flying. So you keep them off Butthole for the first round. You advance. Meanwhile, Archibald is kind of like pulled through to the edge of the crowd, and one of the members of the Horde just says, Lord Archibald, what should we do? Do we retreat? Do we attack? He says, keep attacking, cowards. Always attack. We're the Horde, damn it. Attack them. And make sure they don't reach me before I reach safety. And he takes off running. And the guy's like, well, but you're... Fuck. Turns around, pulls out his spear, and just like tries to gut someone, but breaks on adamantine armor. Things are going badly. As Archibald starts sprinting towards the flaming moat. Back in the crowd, Reginald, I'm not making you roll for anything because I think at the level you're at right now with everything, it's just your bath salt, like, gator, just like robble. Just a Kool-Aid man of destruction.
Yeah. He's a Kool-Aid man moving like a silverback gorilla that's like twice the size of a man with metal skin, just going, running, hammer. His hammer's in one hand, but he's still moving it like a gorilla hand, so it's just flattening whoever's in front of him in a line. Like, he doesn't give a shit. It's leaving flaming holes in the ground behind him. He's just screaming at everything. All he sees is his dad in the distance.
God, that's so terrifying.
His donkey would be so proud.
Yeah.
All right. So
Donkey Jr.
Yeah. All right. So we move back to the protect Mr. President. Quinny, 2 more attacks. Moss, 2 more attacks, please. And Butthole, I'm going to need. I'm going to take an attack against you regardless of this. What's your AC?
23.
23 does not go through. Ricochets off your stone skin magnified shield.
Cool.
26 and 28.
Well, Lauren, I can safely tell you. Yeah, okay.
25 and 10.
Well, the 10 won't do, which will account for that one attack I did. It was going to happen anyway, but narratively now it makes more sense. All right, so concentration remains. We're getting closer. Archibald looks back and can just see exactly what you just described, Ryan, like plowing its way through. And he's like, oh, tits. And he runs to the edge of the flames and he says, it is I, Archibald Tingler, returning home. And sure enough, the flames respond to their former master's voice and form a flaming bridge, which slowly sort of like solidifies into a molten gold blue flame. And he's like, oh, good, they didn't change the password. And then he like hikes up his skirt and just starts fucking booking it across the...
He's got a skirt?
He's wearing fancy clothes, man. He's got like lots of robes and shit. He's a priest of the god of war from Hellworld. So he's just like booking it across the bridge. The rest of you are getting close enough that you can see that there is in fact a bridge and that this is probably your best shot into the castle. I mean, this will mean a lot to Reginald, who's thinking very rationally. I'm sure.
He's all strategy right now.
Yeah, just all into like you're doing a Sudoku. It's
Go
like,
across bridge, dead. Like, that's the strategy right now.
Yeah, you're solving the Da Vinci Code. All right, and then we got one more round of Mr. President to see if Butthole can keep the black spider away.
Dude, 29 and 26. Amazing rolls.
Natural 20 and 22.
Fucking A, yep.
Do you need me to roll something?
No, I don't.
You just looked at me so dramatically. I was like, what do I do?
Normally I make all of you roll stuff, but they just all rolled really well.
I'm just going to say a number, 32. I can't roll that with anything I have, but I'll say it.
Yeah, I think that's a failed Quinny stealth check. Yeah. It's still 32. It's like, I lost my dice. Doesn't matter. It's 89. All right, so you just barrel through. Quinny, with your nat 20, I think, like, you throw a blast, like an Eldritch Blast, and you almost stumble forward as you do so, and it's almost like the gust of a wing has sort of pushed against you, and you can feel your very quickly destroyed haste starting to flow back into you. So Gary has gifted you a final thing from the beyond with your nat 20, and I will restore your haste
Thank you.
haste to you. It always sucks when you blow a big thing and then die immediately, so I want to make sure you still have some fun to be had with it. But you can't use it now because that would break things.
I can't be outrunning Butthole by significant range bands.
It's like, I did it. I'm doing it. You just like look back, Butthole's fucking dead. And it's like,
the black spider's now chasing you.
he's got Butthole shield. He's like, yeah, all right. So Archibald books it across the bridge and disappears into the castle. Reginald, hot on his heels, charging through, and the rest of you follow suit. Breaking free of the crowd, you kind of look back, like once more over your shoulder to see the swirling melee of your newfound allies, the weirdly, like, the Nation of Akka, the people you fought for several seasons. Now your friends, kind of, sort of, fighting the members of the Horde and the Dark Spikes. And basically, your team is keeping their team from interfering. And now it is time to face what you all knew you would have to face. And without time to pause and consider, you charge recklessly into the castle. The castle itself is fucking pretty empty. There are some shambling zombies that are like mopping and like wearing butler suits and other things, wandering around. But admittedly, the Lich Lords of this realm do not spend a lot of time on the ground floor anymore. Butthole, this is your first time home. And it looks remarkably unchanged from when you left, largely because Emily died relatively soon. Well, not relatively soon, but like...
It's spartanly decorated to begin with.
Yeah, and like Typhus wouldn't redecorate it. Emily probably wouldn't touch it. So it's basically what you left.
Yeah.
But with zombies now.
It's fucking weird. Yeah, I mean, the number of people being smaller, because as a war realm, you would have had this full of soldiers at all times. There would have been patrols. But if you're a necromancer, you're not like, let's fill this place full of the mortals who hate and or might kill me. You're like, a couple of zombie butlers, fuck off. So it's unsettling. It is smaller in that way that, like, when you go back to your elementary school or other places, it just feels, despite the fact that it's like a big, impressive palace, don't get me wrong, but it feels more mundane. It feels more like he's actually seen a lot of other fortresses now, and he's been to other bigger castles and things, and just kind of put all that together. So it's been such a big mythical journey to then get to a fucking place. Like, it's not hell. It's not like he's been these big places, and it has a lot of emotional resonance, but it also reminds him like how small and how petty his parents' ambitions were when he was a kid. Like, his dad's ambitions were so fucking stupid and like not what he believes in at all. And like, they built it up and fucked up the whole world, and it's all from this fucking dumb castle that he grew up in. That's just a castle. It's not an eternal fortress to victory that he remembers as like the most scary place where he was constantly getting his ass kicked and shit. When he looks around now, it's like, it's a castle with this shitty undead butler. Fuck this place. Like, just disappointing, a poignant reminder of how fucked up humanity can be, of how far he's come beyond it, because this is like the polar opposite of the Fortress of Solitude, which is like no one can get in and it's full of the undead. Yeah, this is like no undead allowed, the open door, and fucking everybody's welcome inside.
Sure, yeah.
So just a lot of strong juxtapositions. Also, like, the Archibald chase exists, but he's focused on that, but further ahead, but he doesn't know what he feels, and he has not solved any of the emotional conundrums of what he's doing here. And he's also aware that like there's nobody he can talk to about them, because everybody in this party's already made up their mind.
Yeah. And I'd say the Archibald chase only really feels like such a chase because Reginald will die. He is just
he's
gone. So you can see kind of like running into the palace. Archibald is fucking booking it for, there's a central elevator that kind of takes you up the spire. And again, he's like hobble running because he's bleeding a lot. And he kind of like rushes into the elevator and kind of like is doing the button push thing. But it's like a big, think it like a large circular cage elevator. So it's not like a doors close. It's more like, you know, the grate kind of closes and it ascends. Reginald, you are booking it towards him as he pushes the button, being like, "Work faster." What do you do?
Yeah. Reginald raises a hand and summons his teleport sword. And it just blasts him from right where he is into the elevator with Dad. So he just teleports right in, and his sword energy explodes around him. So he automatically does 3d6. So he does 10 damage just appearing in the elevator. And then he also does a melee attack with the sword as it lunges forward.
There's something so fucked up about this, like, silverback gorilla monster throwing a sword, like just throwing a magic sword out of nowhere.
And then just appearing in an elevator. It's like the opposite of the Captain America fight, where it's just like the guy's like closing the door and then like, oh, we're going to have to deal with this. It's just like closed door, closed door, closed door. Gorilla appears behind him in an explosion of energy. He gets an 18 to hit.
Yep.
Okie dokie. That will be 13 bludgeoning damage and 10 fire damage for a total of 23 damage from the sword strike stab appear.
Quinny, you falter in your run even as the speed is starting to course through you. As you watch your own death play out at distance, this giant monster whips a sword that arcs through the air and impales Archibald against the back of the elevator, exploding around him, and then just Gorilla Monster appears in it and just fucking smashes him. And it's like, I'll let you describe how you feel about it. At the same time, you really fucking hate Archibald Tingler. So there's probably some joy in there too. Reginald, I'd ask you how you feel, but like, drugs.
Yeah.
Quinny, how do you feel about watching your death play out again?
Better him than me.
Fantastic. Butthole, you watch as Reginald goes to town on Archibald. How's that hit for you?
There's like a certain like Pyrrhic thing to it. The last fight he didn't get to participate in, so he felt like he didn't get the chance to kind of throw down with Archibald. This time, because he was a part of the fight, and because he chose not to attack to protect the people around him. He didn't swing at his dad, he helped Reginald. He didn't swing at his dad, he dealt with the Black Spider to save Quinny. Like, this has all been there, but at the same time, he can see the power of the friendships that allowed him to do this, because Reginald couldn't do this without him. Quinny wouldn't be here without him. Like, there's value in that too, and it's kind of a lesson in kingship for him. Which is like, as a king, you don't get to be the hero all the time. It's a different life of being Butthole the Adventurer than Butthole King of Akka. And the King of Akka has to let other people do, to quote Quinny, the cool shit. And that is very telling to him. And he feels almost warm until he watches Reginald rip off Archibald's head and manage to eat it with his altered fang mouth. And at that point, he's like, okay, we got to stop this.
Do you?
Yeah, they'll go for it. I think after he eats the head, Reginald is like feeling a little more like, that's good. He did his bath salts job. Like, he's done. And at that point, he's just raises his two like arms and just holds the elevator door open. And, you guys want to go up in this?
Can you change? No, we're gonna need it. And Quinny tries to squeeze in.
Exactly.
And he's like, his arms are staying there, but he's just squeezing his hips back. Like, it's just this weird little, like, back. Everybody's going to ride up with Lurch from the Addams Family.
Are we in there with Archibald's body?
Yep.
Not the head.
Okay.
He kicks it out. Better.
That's going to play havoc with your stomach when you change back, man.
Worth it.
All right.
Check his pockets.
They already booted the body out.
Go back outside, check the pockets.
I can do this the quickest.
Yeah, exactly. That's who he wanted to check it.
All right.
Oh, dear.
So, Quinny, you want to check Archibald's pockets?
I do.
Gotta tell you, he doesn't carry much, largely because, you reach a certain status and other people carry your shit for you. But you find a scrap of fabric with a blood stain on it that was from his first kill that he like carries for luck. And And you see that he has stolen a picture from somewhere in the castle of this world's Emily and this world's Archibald that he's been carrying around for some reason. And you also find a gem that seems to have some magical properties, but you can't identify right now.
Magic gem. All right, I'll come back in, and I'll say, here, he had this on him for some reason, and I'll give the picture of Archibald and Emily to Butthole.
Oh, that's my mom.
Yep.
That's a piece of shit. Pointing at Archibald.
Yeah, you don't have to keep the whole thing.
You're right. And he tears it in half. And he eats the Archibald half to like feel like his brother.
Aww.
And then you boot the body out and then off it goes in. And the elevator ascends. So you have a few moments as the elevator goes up. Anyone who's got a thing that wears out after a minute, your minute is over.
Yeah, absolutely.
1 hour, baby.
Yeah, you're fine and just strong forever, I guess.
Strong, and Butthole still got stone skin.
Yep. I will say, even though this isn't really a short rest, I'm willing to lean on old dd&d rules to let you spend hit dice if you would like to regain any shit.
Thank you.
Anyone want some of mine?
Were you untouched?
Nothing has hit me.
Incredible.
I have taken no damage.
Except for all the times you've almost died.
Yeah, honestly.
I'm not even jealous. I'm
Or
just so
actually
happy for you. What, is that a D10? That is. I don't use D10s. I'm not strong enough.
I don't use D10s.
I'm not strong enough for D10s.
Aw. What do you need?
D8s.
Here, I got 4 here.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll do this many. This is kind of dog shit. I'll roll the 7 again.
Yeah.
Oh my god. In a freakish turn of luck, Reginald uses every hit die he has and mathematically gets himself to exactly full health.
Oh, wow.
That's why I don't trust math.
You can't. It'll betray you every time.
Aw. What did math ever do to you?
Give me trouble in high school. And now.
Oh.
Killed Quinny.
Don't play math.
Gotta play the people wielding math.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're not counting this as a short rest for magic purposes, just for health dice purposes.
Just for health.
I'm not trying to cheat. I just wanted to be clear.
That no wasn't for you, it was for him.
Don't worry, he let himself die instead of using a misty
I know. That's
step.
kind of why I want to honor it, because it would be so shitty if it was, hey, you got all your shit back. It's like, oh, good. Great.
No, I fully acknowledge your generosity. I didn't use any spell slots, so I'm not recovering any. And the haste that you gave back to me has worn off.
Yeah, I meant that as you can recast your haste, not that you just had it, because if you had it, you would have maybe caught up to Archibald. So you can still cast. Basically, I'm giving you, I'm refreshing. It was a potion?
It was, so I think it's just gone. Yeah, that's fine. That is how the dice go sometimes. Thank you for your
math,
dice,
Laura. That's how math happens. It destroys what we love.
All right, whatever. I'm not going to change your mind.
Did I give you the right ones? I think I did,
Yeah, I got one. I love math. Math is cool, baby.
Statistically, we have a chance of changing his mind.
He's right. Damn you, math.
Let's calculate the probability.
No. Multiversal Tom's all about math. Okay, so you've all spent your hit dice. You have a moment as this elevator ascends to kind of check in with each other. This is the last chat you'll have before we face down the Lich Lords of Akka. Any final preparations or thoughts? Or
yeah, Quinny produces the gem and says, "What do you guys think the spineless coward warlord of a horde hell world Akka would be doing with this magical gem?"
Oh man, I'm gonna hate this. And he's just gonna reach out and grab it and cast Grim Psychometry on the gem to see if we can figure out what its history is. So that's a history check with advantage is how traditionally Grim Psychometry works. It may not give him the answer to this question, but we'll find out. for the object, he gets a grand total of 16.
16. Okay, you get brief visions of a band of heroic gnomes, and they're all like dressed in almost like overdone, like not quite superhero costumes, but like it's in the ballpark.
The Gnome Vengers.
Yeah, the Gnome Vengers. So you see the Gnome Vengers, and it's like they're kind of like they've just finished solving, like a local problem. And you can see just sort of glimpses in the shadows of them like walking up to a portal that is there, and a wizard doing a clear like no, and pointing at a map on the wall, being like, it goes here. And one of the gnomes holds up this gem and just smiles kind of cockily, and they all have a little like ha 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 laugh. And then he turns it, he like plugs it into the portal and turns it. And the portal shimmers and changes and seems to show a different location on the other side. And the wizard's like, oh! And they like laugh and tip their hats and step through. And then on the other side, some Horde motherfuckers just destroy them. Like just as soon as they step through the portal, it's just like popping out knives, stab. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. Like it's all done. And you see Reginald just kind of pluck the gem, or Archibald, as he kind of looks around them and smiles. And then you just get other images of him using it to like activate and basically change the nature of portals that he's using. The most recent instance you see is turning it and then looking into the bedroom of Grace and Typhus in this world and being like, huh. However, it almost burns your hand when you see that. And you realize that though this gem may have altered the nature of that portal once, it is highly unlikely that it can do it again. So basically, there is a way between these worlds right now, but it is very, very tenuous.
And the key to it is this gem, from what we can tell.
It seems like it's not that this gem is... You can almost think of it as like a radio tuner. It's not that it's specifically keyed to like Grimdark universe into this. It seems like its nature is it's not a skeleton key, but it can alter portals.
All right, so Reginald will look at the rest and say, it changes portals. Maybe we'll show it to Alan, who can explain what the fuck we do.
Yeah.
Still intelligent.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was a pretty clear fucking memory. If he'd got some weirder shit, it would have been real tough for him to put it together. But he literally was like, put in portal, change.
All right, I'll take it for now. Okay.
Hand back.
All right. Any other final preparations?
Moss just want to say to Butthole, look, I've been thinking a lot about what I said before about your mom, and the truth is that that's just wishful thinking. I want it to be over.
Well, what part was wishful thinking?
That your mom is just beyond hope.
So you think my mom might be nice and fine and not a problem?
I don't know. And I was acting like I knew. But I don't.
Okay. Quinny, what do you think?
I think she's a lich. I think she's evil. I think it is not fair to you that this is how it is, but I think that is how it is. And if there is a way that it is clear to me that you can be safe and try to find an alternative, I will help you, but I don't see it. Liches are dangerous. She is dangerous. She's not your mom. She's a monster.
Okay, what about you, Reginald? Parents bad. Kill parents. No hungry. Okay, that's not great advice, but fine. Okay. Well, let's do this. And he's going to cast Shield of Faith on himself again to kind of boost his AC going into this room.
All right. With that, the elevator ascends, and there's like an just an out of place ding as the elevator arrives at the top. It opens up into kind of a large suite. You can see that this the ceiling has been sort of carved out of this room. So what previously would have been kind of like several floors is now kind of one floor with 3 levels, with kind of a massive circular gap running through the middle of it. Butthole, you would recognize this as kind of, previously where, like, where the vault is, where Archibald's room was, all in and Emily's room together was. And that space seems kind of like empty. Like you can tell that this is just basically used as like the elevator delivery floor. This is the greeting room now. Whereas previously it was a very like, this is the Citadel. It seems that Typhus has essentially created like a weird 3-room condo, like a 3-level condo situation for himself. These rooms do look vastly redecorated. They've just been retrofitted. And weirdly, there's a lot of scrap metal from 2099 stuff around. It's almost like, if you think about, it's usually like weird thrift shops and stuff where they just kind of like put like bike wheels and like hubcaps and things on the walls. But a quick look almost looks like Typhus has tried to recreate a sense of a 2099 room in this building. It doesn't work because it's all trash. It's not like there's been stuff that's been reforged and everything else, but it still has a very arts and crafts vibe to it, particularly because it's trying to emulate like a slick sci-fi room, and instead it's like, here's an ancient castle room that has slick sci-fi stuff stapled into it. There is kind of like a wide staircase that kind of ascends the 3 floors, and a floor above you, you can literally hear Typhus yelling like a guy trying to figure out how to change channels on a remote. Just be like, come on, this is fucking ridiculous. And Emily, where is Archibald? Where did he take that fucking gem? And Butthole, you hear the voice of your mother just say, oh God, would you just... Grayson, could you just stop with the gem? It's over. There will be no bunker world. Come on, I have so many unseen hand plans here. There's so many things we can do here. Surely we can turn the tide on this collide here. And he's like, no, listen, I will not take any talk back from an Emily, first of all. Second of all, we've made the plan and we're going. So shut the fuck up and figure out how to help me with this thing, because I think things are going pretty fucking badly out there with your soft Akai idiots.
Guys, this is just Laura talking. We gotta fucking kill this motherfucker.
Let's roll for initiative.
All right.
12.
Oh.
I rolled 2 d20s at the same time for the 2 brothers. Both rolled 14. So Butthole's coming in at 15 and Reginald's at 14.
Quinny's bringing up the rear. 9.
Okay. The liches roll very low.
Good.
All right. Reginald, improbably you are up first. Emily and Grayson are up 1 level, and you can tell that they've kind of got like some sort of observation lounge set up where they're kind of looking down. Their quarters are on the top level. Second level is kind of observation, and again, this floor is like the lounge where Emily was resurrected, and this was where all of our like villain cutaways happened. There's like a giant, unnecessarily large fireplace, portrait of Archibald and Emily, and like probably you guys as boys.
Yeah, Reginald's stupid enough currently that he doesn't know what to do, so he'll hold action. He dumb. He'll just wait to see what everyone else is doing.
Okay.
He doesn't have a plan. He's just like, his tummy is full of his father's head, and he's still a beast monster. So he's just like, he knows he's not in charge right now, and he knows going back to normal Reginald will make him smarter, but worse at the things they might need him to do. So he's just kind of like a Hulk. Like Lurch is a pretty good example from the Addams Family. He's just standing there dumb, waiting for instructions.
Cool.
The thought of his head it's actually turning my stomach.
Well, I'm sure things will only get happier from here.
Yep.
Okay, Butthole.
Butthole is going to turn and whisper to Quinny and just say, do you think you can get the phylactery? Just sneak up and get it. Okay, if you can get it back down here, do that.
Yep.
Okay. Go.
Give me a second.
For what?
For my turn.
Okay, well, Butthole's going to hold action because he's like, Butthole's fine. Like, if functionally, what Butthole would do is just like stand stock still outside this elevator and just let Quinny do his shit. Because the whole hope is like, that's our best gamble. Because if like, to explain out loud, but his general thought, if you can get the phylactery, they have to let us talk to them. And then I could talk to my mom. That would be really great to help figure out what the fuck we're going to do.
I got it. Yep. I'm with you. I'll do that.
Okay. Don't fuck this up.
Okay. I got to stretch first.
Okay, yeah, do it. Do it. Do the stretch. Do the stretch you need to do.
Okay. Moss, do you hold action until Quinny's done stretching?
Well, yeah, I mean, Moss isn't gonna draw the attention.
All right.
So it's like, I mean, is there anywhere that we can get to so we're not like standing in the fucking middle of this
You
room?
can go hang out in Dead Evil Dad and Dead Evil Mom's bedroom. There's the vault and there's this lounge. There's like a nice
So the
evil
bedroom's
couch.
the top floor, right?
So Grayson Typhus's bedroom with Emily is the top floor. He didn't want to sleep in Archibald's room. So
Okay.
he made a fancy suite at the top. And they've got observation hangout space. This is the old villain lounge.
Yeah.
That kind of basically used to be the top of the tower.
But Archibald's bedroom is this floor.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. We'll all go hide.
Yeah.
There. Those of us
That
who are not
sounds
Quinny,
excellent.
go hide there.
So we're still, the initiative stands. We're going to drop out of initiative order then because I don't need to play the game of like, okay. And then, all right, Moss
all
moves
take turns holding
4
action. Yeah.
hexes over and to the room. Great. In our theater of the mind. Okay, fantastic. So Quinny, you've done some stretches. How do you want to try and steal the phylactery?
I have to make my way up to the room.
You got to make your way to, the third floor. So you
Yeah.
got to go past the floor with the 2 liches on it
Yep.
and make it to the top.
So I am going to go up the stairs and basically just at that second floor where the 2 liches are, I'm just peeking to get a sense of where they are in the room and when I can take my chance to scurry up to the 3rd floor.
Okay. So Grayson Typhus is slapping the side of a Raven gate, again, like a TV, trying to get it to change channels, and glowering at it. Emily is overlooking the battlefield, and you can see that she has clearly brought out, like she's surrounded by tomes and maps and scrolls, all bearing the sigil of the unseen hand. And it's clear that she's basically dragged out all of her contingency plans and has been like systematically going through them. They're both pretty distracted. Neither of them heard the ding, and also none of them really imagine that there's any direct threat to them coming up. However, I need you to please roll a, I'm going to say an intelligence save.
12.
12.
Yeah, I will use Dark One's own luck
Okay. All
before
right.
you say anything else.
Yep. Good getting in there. Good thing I hesitated.
17 is
There
now the
you
new
go.
result.
Okay. You see a thick folder that just says the Quinny Protocol on it. And there's a number of pages kind of splayed out, including like a Vitruvian Man diagram of you that seems to have a lot of notes and smaller drawings of other people kind of off of your limbs. Because you passed, you can ignore this. If you'd failed, this would have been like I need to know. But there's something horrible about seeing like what Gary warned you about in person, and just the fact that this like supervillain had not only like did like allowed the cloning thing to happen and everything else, but like had additional plans and basically was just like, yeah, when we need him, we'll just go grab Quinny and do shit. Because you've had enough of that.
Yeah.
But you passed your save, so you've grown enough that you can ignore it.
Right.
What is Quinny's reaction to seeing this?
Just I have to be quiet. Just an exasperated roll of the eyes of like, when will this shit end with this family? Leave us alone. and the kind of consolation of like, we are not planning to die here today. We're planning to win. I can look at these later because we will be here and they won't. And he scurries up to the 3rd floor.
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons. Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time. Christopher Little, Sue One, George Dolby, Richard Cranium, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Logan, Fire Unfriendly, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Glitch Trick, Flynn1138, Alarain Okapi, OMG It's Big Nick, D&D and Things, Schrodinger's Pepper, Guy Edwards, Flea Unit, Madre de Gatos, Lady Maiden, Nithrian, Garbo Ape, Locke, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Dagger Rain, Rob L, Dia de los Hoodless, Dio Vassis, Loki Burrito, Squishy Werewolf, Remy, Funky Head, Nomad, the Wise Paladin of the Badlands, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.